Good evening, Burlington City and County government officials. I'm Sean O'Malley, your Regional Emergency Coordinator. This quick brief is to update you on the increasing threat of our current winter storm and what steps you need to take to mitigate the risk. Since the last briefing, the National Weather Service has deemed this storm to be the worst storm in the history of Vermont. Previously, the National Weather Service predicted that there would be 5 to 6 inches of snow following the freezing rain. Instead, we have received 6 to 7 inches of freezing rain, with another few inches of freezing rain predicted to fall over the next few days. The governor has already asked for federal assistance to help with the recovery efforts and to help reach our stranded citizens. At the same time, we need to increase reaching out to our neighboring states for their assistance, as well as fully utilize the NGOs in our area. I also recommend that you develop a plan and propose it to the governor about what resources, such as power generation and heavy-duty vehicles, that you might need from the National Guard, and a timeline of when you wish to utilize them. Currently, the schools, airports, and the majority of the roads within the state are closed and will remain so for the next few days, until the weather clears and the Department of Transportation has a chance to improve the safety of the roads. Because of this, I advise that the travel restrictions remain in effect for all personnel except for essential personnel and for emergency situations only. Weather of this magnitude is not something that the government, first responders, utility companies, nor the general population is used to. Because of this, we need to ensure that we maintain our composure and help the general population remain calm to prevent any further harm. To ensure the safety of the people in your city, the following steps must be taken. The governor has already established that all essential personnel will be working on the 12-hour emergency schedule. In addition to this, the governor is already in discussion with the unions within the state to develop a plan of compensation and safety requirements for those following the new schedules. The continued establishment and improvement of the Emergency Operations Center, as was done during the emergency management exercise that occurred this last summer, needs to continue so that we have a common operating picture of the developing situation. You need to continue to develop, resource, and bring stranded citizens to the shelters that have been established for them. Part of this process needs to be fully utilizing NGOs to assist in any possible way they can. Getting the 911 infrastructure back up and running needs to be one of the top priorities. Until then, a system needs to be put into place where calls into the emergency number can be routed or passed to the nearest first responders for them to take action. First responders need to focus their attention on locations where personnel are at most risk, i.e. the nursing homes, location where children might be stranded, and where the power has been out the longest. At the same time, the first responders need to be able to facilitate in any way helping the utility companies assess the damage, develop a plan of action to start restoring power, and ultimately to get power back to those that need it most. A message much like the press release issued earlier in the week must be continuously updated with the pertinent information that the citizens must know to keep themselves safe, and then disseminated. First and foremost, this message needs to stress the importance of staying put, wherever they are, unless it is an emergency. The conditions outside are extremely dangerous, with all the fallen power lines. The hospitals are also reporting an increase in injuries due to slips and falls. All these injuries can and will be compounded by the fact that first responders will have a difficult time getting to them to provide initial aid and subsequently to get them to the hospitals for treatment. We must also continue to push the dangers of using alternate heating sources and the steps that need to be taken to make them safe, such as not using them around anything flammable like blankets, having the windows cracked to reduce the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning, and to never let those heating sources run unattended. The same must be done concerning the buildup of ice on rooftops and the freezing of water pipes within households. Velco is currently doing their best considering the scenario and has already contacted other power companies in the surrounding states and southern Canada for assistance to bring the power back online. That being said, they will still require a lot of assistance from you to make this happen. They can't effectively reach the down power lines without proper plow support, nor can they fully develop a plan to restore power until they understand your priorities of what areas require power back first. Ensure that you are integrated in all that they do. to ensure as quick of recovery as possible. With your continued help, we should all make it safely through the storm and keep the population as calm as possible.